Here's an update on the motivation of the München shooter. After I uploaded the video, I speculated quite a bit on his motives in a conversation with the 19th guy, a subscriber of mine who I hope doesn't mind being put in the spotlight. I'm going to share what I wrote because it turns out that I was probably right. If you allow me to go into full speculation mode. I think that he, a Shia or at least from a Shia family, didn't just murder random people. He knowingly murdered Sunni Muslims. 6 of the 9 victims so far are likely to have been Sunni Muslims because 3 of them were Bosnian and 3 Turks. A Facebook profile has been hacked that day and sent out many invitations to the location of the shooting. I suspect that the shooter knew the girl who the account belonged to personally, probably from school. I don't think that he hacked the account, I think he simply knew the password. He had been treated because of depression and claimed to have been bullied, so I guess that he was bullied at school and his bullies included some of the Sunni victims. It's not a secret that there are schools in which religious conflicts are part of everyday life, and it's not unlikely that this may result in bullying. In conclusion, my guess would be that he was a mental case who considered himself German, which he was after all, because he couldn't identify with his migrant peers who are largely Sunni. Yet he didn't feel accepted as a German as well. Among a lot of literature, the police have found writing on Anders Breivik, the Norwegian right-wing murderer. The anniversary of his crime was July the 22nd. I'd go as far as speculating that he identified with right-wing nationalist ideas, overcompensated for his own migrant background and killed terrorists/Sunnis. When we talk about Islamic terrorism, we usually talk about Sunni terrorism. He did what the two of us agree is wrong. He considered Sunnis in general a threat to our society, terrorist sleeper cells, so to speak. The fact that he was bullied by Sunnis adds a final personal motivation. As I said, this is speculation and rather crazy, but I have a hard time imagining that the amount of Sunnis killed is a coincidence, and this is the only way I can make sense of the pieces. But yes, he may simply have been torn apart between feeling German and being treated as a foreigner. We'll see. This is far-fetched, but if you look at the Nazis' race theories, Persians were considered Aryan in individual cases. The word Aryan itself has its root in the Persian language. So a demented mind could make that connection. In case you wonder how my Aryan idea could be true because the police announced that there was no evidence of a political motivation, books on murders you can buy in stores, books on race theory you can't, I guess. So if far-right ideas did in fact play a role, he probably read this stuff online, and getting the content of a PC takes much longer than searching a room. That's what I wrote the day after the shooting. Yesterday I read an article on Zeit Online titled "Spree Killer Said to Have Been a Right-Wing Extremist." The 18-year-old who shot 9 people in Munich is said to have been a right-wing extremist, according to the Frankfurter Allgemeine Rundschau, citing security circles. He was fond of Adolf Hitler and proud to have been born on April 20th, just like him. People in his surrounding claim that he considered himself an Aryan in 2 ways, being a German as well as Persian. Iran is said to be the home of the Aryans. It's claimed that the 18-year-old hated Turks and Arabs because he felt superior to them. The newspaper states that investigators are currently checking if David Ali S. knowingly killed people with a migrant background. Most of the 9 people he killed had a migrant background. Initially, the police thought this was a coincidence. The fact that he could have killed more people with the ammunition he carried favors this hypothesis. He also committed his crime on July 22, 2016, the 5-year anniversary of the attack of right-wing extremist Anders Breivik in Norway. Oh, the police is coming. Maybe they wonder how I could know all of this. In a video, which was published online and shows the 18-year-old arguing with a neighbor, David Ali S. says that he's a native German. He insults Turks. The Bavarian Department of Crime hasn't confirmed the story. The Munich prosecutor merely stated that the motivations of the shooter are being investigated in every possible way. Last Friday, the 18-year-old, 300 rounds of ammunition in his backpack, had gone on a shooting spree and killed 9 in a mall. After the police had talked to him close to the crime scene, he killed himself, according to the police. Up until now, investigators presumed the suspect had psychological problems and committed the crime as vengeance for bullying. Investigators have found a manifesto. According to them, he had even visited the crime scenes of the Winnenden spree shooting. In 2009, a 17-year-old had killed 15 people in the town in Baden-Württemberg before he died himself in a shootout with the police. What we don't know yet concerning his motivation is whether his victims were in fact Sunnis and whether he associated them with terrorists/bullies like I suggested. Whatever little details are going to come out from now on, it's fair to say that this is a pretty outlandish case. Both a classical killing spree and an act of right-wing terrorism. One little note on the media madness surrounding this case. Depending on where the authors stand politically, some call the shooter Ali, others Ali David, some simply call him David, and others call him David Ali. This is silly, but telling.